The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Diego Castro. Bus terminals in the metro are still packed with passengers hoping to catch a ride back to provinces, while some are already returning to the capital. Buses are constantly loading and unloading passengers in Cubao, where thousands of passengers are expected to arrive until the end of the year. Dispatchers assure that there are enough buses operating, with around 4,000 arriving and departing each day. It's a similar scene at the Parañaque Integrated Exchange Terminal, where around 28,000 passengers have been recorded as of 8 a.m. PTEX expects the crowd to thicken again as New Year's Eve approaches. For those traveling up north, traffic remains generally light along NLEX. There may be a slight buildup along cash lanes at the Balintawak Toll Plaza, Mindanao, and Bukawi Toll Plaza. Light to moderate traffic is also observed at Marulas, Valenzuela, and Maykawayan, Bulacan. Motorists traversing along Roxas Blvd may see heavy traffic in the coming days. Authorities have closed the northbound lane of the EDSA-Roxas Blvd flyover for the repair of two expansion joints. The Public Works Department has laid down an alternate route as the rehabilitation is set to last until December 30. And the Philippine National Railways finally opens a train route between Naga and Legazpi City today. This line will run 2 daily trips each to and from Naga and Legazpi City, with tickets priced at 20 to 155 pesos depending on the distance. More than 20% of traditional jeepneys in Metro Manila have not yet consolidated, just 4 days before the deadline set on December 31. That's equivalent to 31,000 jeepneys in NCR that have yet to join or form cooperatives for the government's PUV modernization program. Those who fail to comply with the standards of the PUV modernization will eventually lose their franchises and will no longer be allowed to operate. Prior to this, transport groups had conducted several protests against the said program. For their part, Transport Group Manibela calls on President Bongbong Marcos to approve a provisional authority allowing jeepney drivers who have yet to consolidate to operate next year.
Kahit provisional authority lang na hanggang December next year o maibalik na talaga yung aming mga prangkisa, talagang nakikiusap kami sa ating Pangulo na sana magkaroon siya ng puso sa ating mga pobreng tsuper at operator, na ito lamang yung alam po na kabuhayan natin sa ngayon. Dahil nga wala namang available po na pagkakakitaan at ito na yung niyakap naming kabuhayan.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Diego Castro. The government continues to study its position in dealing with the International Criminal Court and possibly returning as a member. But if you ask former palace spokesman Harry Roque, there may be more as to why the Marcos government suddenly changed its tune. In his program, The Spokes Hour, Attorney Roque claimed that the change in position regarding the ICC may have something to do with destabilization rumors that surfaced early last month. Recall that AFP Chief Romeo Browner claimed to have been misquoted after mentioning supposed destabilization efforts among former military officials. Roque said President Marcos may have gotten the wrong idea after his predecessor Rodrigo Duterte met with military veterans.
Hindi ko alam kung anong topic na usapan nila, pero baka may kinalaman yung sinasabi ni Armed Forces Chief of Staff Browder na destab. So at that point, nagkaroon ng duda na baka nagdi-destab itong si FPRRD. Samahan mo pa na biglang nagpulong si FPRRD kay President Xi. Diyan daw nabago. At diyan nagdesisyon daw ang PBBM mismo na makipagtulungan sa ICC at pag-aralan ang pagbalik sa ICC. Hindi po pala si House Speaker ito, si Presidente PBBM. Di umano ang nasa likod dito.
With the president changing his tune on the ICC probe, a political analyst now expects a, quote, open warfare between Marcos and the Dutertes. Speaking on the big story, political analyst and former political advisor to late President Noynoy Aquino, Ronald Llamas, says he believes that President Marcos gave his blessing on several moves that have focused on the Dutertes. These include the House's proposed review on the ICC investigation, as well as the removal of VP Sara Duterte's confidential funds. With the alleged conflict between the two sides, Llamas said that an open warfare between the Marcos administration and the Dutertes will likely take place next year.
Tingin ko, Risa, hindi lang nawala yung unity ng UNITEAM. Ito ay open warfare na. Kaya medyo colorful, medyo intense, medyo masaya yung ating bagong taon. Hindi lang magpuputukan yung mga fireworks. Ang tingin ko, no, after ng New Year, ay makikita natin yung open warfare. Na medyo sinimulan na rin ni Vice President Sara Duterte nung binanatan niya si President Bongbong Marcos dun sa kanyang peace talk, no, a deal with the devil.
Speaking of the Vice President, she's warning the public against scammers who are using her name to solicit money. VP Sara says her office received reports that scammers are introducing themselves to victims as members of different government agencies. They claim to be collecting money that will be used for Sara's political campaign. The Vice President clarified that she did not authorize anyone to collect money on her behalf for politics or any other purpose. She is now urging the public to immediately report such scamming incidents to the police. Let's now take a quick look at other stories we're watching. President Bongbong Marcos extends the lower tariffs on rice, corn, and pork products until the end of 2024. The order intends to ensure food security, citing possible droughts and dry spells that could affect rice and corn production, as well as trade restrictions in some countries that could affect prices. Migration expert Manny Jaslani says a new deployment deal between the Philippines and Kuwait may be reached before March of next year. The deployment remains suspended following the murder of helper Julie B. Ranara. The total number of firecracker-related injuries has increased to 52 days before the New Year's Eve celebration. That's after the Health Department recorded 24 new cases on December 26. And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us again at 11:15 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. I'm Diego Castro. We are One News, all sides, all the time.